There are times when the brain gets hijacked, and you have to know how to approach the situation because using typical tactics are not going to work as the brain is hijacked. Hey there, I'm Misty Rappaport, and I help ADHD entrepreneurs optimize their brain so running their business is a whole lot easier. Now, I am currently in Israel during war, helping out in any way I can. And I was recently passing by a bus stop and just saw a woman crying and just like bawling. And there was another lady next to her trying to calm her down. Don't worry, we'll all be okay. Don't worry, it will be fine. Just don't worry. It's okay. We'll all be good. And the crying woman just cried and cried more. She started yelling. She's like, "You can't say that. You didn't have a brother that was killed by Hamas. You don't have family that's been displaced all over the country. You can't say that." And she continues to just cry and cry and cry. My heart just went out to her. The situation is just horrible. It no way is like any part of this fun. Not the fact that her brother has been tortured and murdered by Hamas. Not the fact that her family's all over the country. She doesn't know when she's going to be able to go back home. It's a horrible situation. However, the woman who was trying to calm her down was not doing anything that was being very helpful because her brain was hijacked. Let me explain to you what actually happens in the brain when your brain gets hijacked so that way you can know what to do. Okay, what I'm about to share with you, I actually got from Danielle Siegel from Whole Brain Child. It's an amazing book, and I highly recommend you read it. Okay, now do this together with me. Pick up your hand and bend your thumb in. This thumb right here is called the amygdala, the part of your brain that is called the amygdala. The amygdala is actually two little, like almond-sized pieces in your brain that is in charge of strong emotions. Lots of emotions, anything with trauma, anything strong emotions is stored in there. Okay, so we have our little amygdala folded inside our brain. It's deep inside our brain. Then we have these four fingers, which are going to be our prefrontal cortex of our brain. The front part of our brain. This is the logical thinking part of the brain. Okay, now you can bend those four fingers over. Most of the time, your prefrontal cortex, your thinking part of your brain, is communicating with your amygdala, with your emotional part of the brain. And your prefrontal cortex, your thinking part of the brain, is in charge of the show. It is telling your amygdala what to do and how to deal with things. Okay, so there's communication with them. There's things happening there. Now, sometimes the amygdala gets flooded with so much emotion and it literally hijacks the brain. There is no connection, there is no communication between the prefrontal cortex and your amygdala. Literally, there's like no communication happening in between those two parts of your brain. So, whatever you try to tell someone, whenever you're trying to talk logically to someone who has their brain hijacked, none of it's going to go in because their prefrontal cortex is not even hearing it as the amygdala is running the show. The amygdala has completely taken charge of the brain. And so whatever you say is not going to work. What you actually need to do, whether your brain has been hijacked or it's somebody that you're with's brain has been hijacked, is you need to help them calm down by making the connection come back. You need to help them reconnect their prefrontal cortex to their amygdala, their thinking part of their brain, to their emotional part of their brain. Okay. And this is done either with like deep breaths, a walk, a shower, right? All those things that we know to help us calm ourselves down. That helps us remake that connection and get the prefrontal cortex in charge again. One really cool thing you could try is scribbling with your non-dominant hand, with the hand that usually don't write with. That will really help you calm down and remake that connection so the prefrontal cortex is in charge again. And then, and only then, can you talk to the person. Okay, then and only then does logical things make sense. If you are trying to tell them logical things previously, there is literally nothing that is going to help. So next time you see someone have a massive outburst or a child have a complete meltdown or a client who's just really angry or anything that's going on there, I want you to think, is this person having a hijack? If yes, what can I do to help them calm them down? Sometimes I could simply just like be there, give them a drink, and let them just like recollect themselves, especially if this is an adult and a client or something that like just is super angry and like you're not gonna suggest they go take a shower or something, right? But if it's a little 2-year-old, your 2-year-old child who's having a meltdown and you are trying to yell at them to just be quiet, that is not going to help. You want to help them calm down. Maybe just sit there and give them a big hug till they like and co-regulate with them so that way their amygdala can calm down and their prefrontal cortex can connect to them. And then, and only then, can you talk to them. I hope you have an awesome rest of your day. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and I will catch you on the next video. Bye for now.